book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 to 8, which the title is A Time for Everything. So it starts, everything that happens in this world happens at the time God chooses. He sets the time for birth and the time for death, the time for planting and the time for pulling up, the time for killing and the time for healing, the time for tearing down and the time for building. He sets the time for sorrow and the time for joy, the time for mourning and the time for dancing, the time for making love and the time for not making love, the time for kissing and the time for not kissing. He sets the time for finding and the time for losing, the time for saving and the time for throwing away, the time for tearing and the time for mending, the time for silence and the time for talk. He sets the time for love and the time for hate, the time for war and the time for peace. All of this that I have read from verses 1 to 8, it shows that everything happens according to the alignment that God chooses. Okay? Everything happens according to his timing.